Hello everybody, good morning and welcome to the United Stand. This is your latest Manchester United news. I'm not hungover. My throat's a bit... I was singing Oasis last night. Liam would be very, very happy. But I hope you're doing very well this morning. Lots to get into. Pep Guardiola says that Manchester United are back. We'll be talking about that. Interest in Donny van der Beek from two clubs in Europe. Does that mean that Donny van der Beek could be moving on in January? Also, we'll be talking a little bit about a few other things as well, including this Anthony nonsense and a fantastic clip on Martinez, which I think is absolutely superb. I'm sure many of you have seen it. I do want to sort of want to delve into that one as well. But we'll start off. I suppose we'll start off. I'm going to pop that on the screen so you can read it. That's not where I'm going to start off, but you can read what Pep Guardiola has said. I want to talk about Donny van der Beek. You may have spotted this story yesterday. I thought it'd be a good morning story. Donny van der Beek, Gattuso is the manager of Valencia at the moment. They're mid-table in La Liga. Their midfield really isn't up to it. Cavani's actually playing quite regularly for them up front. I think they've got Justin Kluivert on the wing. They've got one or two other good players as well. They're lacking in the midfield, and Donny van der Beek is the player that Valencia want to look at in the January transfer window. Apparently, Inter Milan are interested again as well. I've spoken to, obviously we've had Fabrizio on the show. We've had Fabrizio on the show from Leeds. We've had Fabrizio on the show in the past. He's spoken about Donny. I think Fabrizio is quite well informed on the Donny situation. And effectively, the truth around Donny van der Beek is this. The future is his to choose. Ten Hag wants Donny van der Beek to stay at Manchester United, but he's also realistic that if Donny doesn't grab the opportunity in the next few weeks, he never will, and United would be wise to cut their losses on a player where there is some interest to buy him. January is sounding like being quite pivotal for Donny. It could get extended to the summer, but it could be in January. The thing I was told, and the thing to be worried about, and it does make total sense, is anybody who says that United aren't going to sell Donny in January, just remember what happened with James Garner in the summer. United need to sell players. They didn't want to sell James Garner. They wanted to loan James Garner. But because they couldn't sell Jones, Williams, Wan-Bissaka, Twansebi and other players who they wanted to sell, they needed to bring some money in. Even though it was only 11, they needed to bring some money in. And Garner was a player that many clubs were interested in. So they did the deal. In January, the same thing will happen again. If they can't sell the Williams, Twansebis, Wan-Bissakas, then they may well sell a player that has interest. And Donny van der Beek will have interest. So I wouldn't say it's impossible that Manchester United do it. Shave your head for charity, says Jay. I'm doing some good stuff for charity. Watch out on my Instagram later, actually, at Goldbridge Mark. I'll be kicking it off soon. So, yeah, look, I feel that with Donny van der Beek, it's just... I said this last night. I said a lot of things last night. If you didn't watch last night's show, boo-hoo to you. That's your problem. But I said last night that this January transfer window will kick off, and it will kick off. And there will be a lot of stories, especially in November, December, because clubs haven't got anything to do other than plan for January. It will be like a mini transfer window, which is what the January transfer window is, but it'll be like a mini summer. There's going to be a lot of activity. Some of the deals I'm hearing that Chelsea are trying to do are the sort of deals you would do in the summer. And look, this is not Man United, but what I was told about Chelsea, and I don't know why, I always get well briefed on Chelsea. Like, I knew they were getting Sterling weeks before anybody else did. And what I was told about Chelsea is that they're basically treating this January transfer window like a summer transfer window, because they've got from the start of November to the end of December to be talking to agents, players and clubs, and then in January they're just going to hit it very quickly in 4 weeks. So Chelsea are going to use this because a couple of reasons really. Chelsea are eager to be a big player under Todd Boehly. He wants to prove he's a good owner. But also, Tuchel had last summer. Potter's not had a summer. So they want to commit to Potter and make sure that he swims and he doesn't sink. So Chelsea are going to be very active, and they're going to be using the next 2 months like you would a summer transfer window when you're prepping for that in March and April. I think other clubs will do it as well, and I think Manchester United need to do that. There's a very good point here from Tank de Sherman, who says, so basically we'll sell Donny and sign Gakpo. I'm not going to say that's going to happen. I'm not involved in the talks at Manchester United, but you probably made a point that could come to fruition. United don't want to spend any more money in January. And I think to spend money in January, they're going to have to make money in January. And if you're going to make money in January, sometimes you have to make by selling Van der Beek. I mean, you've got to sell what if you do a car boot sale tomorrow morning and you're packing your car up today, you can fill your boot with a load of crap and no one will buy it. You might have to put something in there like, Call of Duty that you've played for an hour or two, and you know it will sell on Sunday. So that could happen in the January transfer window. Donny van der Beek, look, Valencia are interested. I don't know whether Inter Milan are interested. They've always been linked to him, but there's 20 million quid there. 20 million quid that you could put towards a Gakpo or something like that. If you sell Donny for 20 million and you sell Wan-Bissaka for 15, you've got 35 million there. You've basically paid Gakpo, haven't you? And if Ronaldo goes as well with his wages, you could sell Wan-Bissaka, Donny van der Beek, Ronaldo goes, you've basically paid for Gakpo. Don't rule that out. We're Manchester United at the end of the day. We're not Chelsea. We're not going to go and keep players that we need to keep to buy players that we need to bring in. I think those sort of things are possible. Hi Mark, it's hard to catch you live most of the time working in a hospital, but I catch up on everything. Legend. Lee, keep doing the good work. Hope you're doing well. Donny's better than both Fred and McTominay. Selling him and keeping sums up United as a club, says Paul. But Paul, I could say the same thing. I think James Garner in a couple of years could be better than McTominay and Fred. I don't think he is at the moment, but he could be. We sold him. We didn't loan him, we sold him. He's gone. United, it sounds ridiculous when a club has spent 200 million quid, but we're desperate to sell before we buy. And you can only sell what people want to sell. It could happen. Valencia are interested. There are other clubs that are interested. And that interest in Donny may not be there in the summer. So United might do it. I don't know. Do I think it will happen? Do I think it should happen? Look, I thought Donny van der Beek came on and did a good job on Thursday night. But a good job in the last 10 minutes because you want to give Bruno or Eriksen a rest is not the same as starting. He needs to start games. He will want to start games. And that's the question. We can all want to keep Donny, but is he actually going to get real game time? And the honest answer is probably not. It's going to be Casemiro, Eriksen and Bruno. Now, if you get a long injury to Eriksen, you'd want it to be Donny. If you get a long injury to Bruno, you'd want it to be Donny. So those sort of things can impact. All he can do is stay fit and be playing well when he gets his opportunity. And then if Ten Hag gives him game time, he may well stay. I want him to stay. I think most people want him to stay as well. But there are barriers to jump. He's got to stay fit, which he hasn't really done this year. He's got to play well consistently, which he's never really been given the opportunity to do. And then he's got to get a first team place to keep himself happy. He's very much in the same place as Martial, where everyone assumes that Martial wants to stay at Manchester United. If Martial was fit and he was on the bench, he'd be still wanting to leave. So you've got to take into account the wishes of Donny van der Beek. I think he would love to make it at Manchester United, but if he gets himself fit and he's sat on the bench, I think he will be knocking on that door in January. So, look, all I would say is it caught my eye yesterday because I think many of us just want Donny to come back and play well, but how does he get in the first team is one. And two, in January, there's going to be interest in him. And three, we've just seen Man United sell Garner, so they will sell a player even if we don't think they should because it brings money in. So watch this space with Donny. I don't want it to happen, but those Valencia stories are true. And, if you're Donny van der Beek, do you fancy moving to Spain and playing first-team football in La Liga for Valencia? Or do you want to stay at Manchester United and be a bit-part player? You can see the attraction. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Hopefully, he can start getting some first-team football. Because we certainly do need to rotate the likes of Bruno and Eriksen. Ash G says, I hope you're well. You didn't say which 4 players you would want to back you in a fight yesterday. I thought it was a good question. Thank you, Ash. Can I just say as well, just before I answer that and talk about what Pep said, I am wearing the Christmas jumper again. I completely forget when I've got it on because it's just nice and comfortable. This is our very first knitted Christmas jumper. We have the normal Christmas jumpers. They will be coming out in the next couple of weeks, but you can order these now. This weekend is when they start shipping. So get your orders in for the 20 times Christmas jumper by the United Stand. It is knitted. It is proper knitted Christmas jumper. You've got your 20 trophies on here, 20 titles, 13 Premier League, 7 the old Division 1. You've got the number 20 on your back, and we've got the managers on the shoulders and a little bit of a rhyme on there. Lovely pattern as well. We do ship worldwide. When they're gone, they're gone. I think we've got a couple of hundred left, and then they're gone. So get your orders in, and we do ship worldwide. So snooze you lose on that, but very nice Christmas jumper. Thank you very much. Okay, so I will answer that question about what 4 United players I'd like to have behind me in a scrap. Martinez, Casemiro, Dalot, and probably David De Gea, because he's good with his hands. So yeah, you've got to go with the goalkeeper, hasn't he? He's got the quickest reflexes, and goalkeepers are generally quite big. But that brings me on to what I was about to say there. I don't know whether anybody saw the clip. I saw it last night. Jorginho is gobbing off to Martinez, and Martinez is gobbing off as well. Anthony's behind Jorginho, and he just holds his ground with an angry face. Jorginho bumps into him, looks round, and Martinez keeps walking and bumps into him and floors him. I mean, it's not an FA charge. If the FA are watching, they'll be like, what's this? What? If we can charge Man United players again? It's not that. It's just something we don't get. And I think that, I mean, it's just a very South American way. I really do. You think about Heinze, Tevez, these sort of players. They just approach football in a very different way. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, everybody's got different culture. It's about the culture. Everybody's got different culture. And with Martinez, we've just got this thing that we've had in the past with players who are not English players, who come from other countries and probably don't know a lot about Manchester United, but completely fall in love with the club, and we embrace them. And Herrera was like it as well. Martinez is just something else. He's just absolutely something else. And it's not like Victor Lindelof or Harry Maguire could wake up this morning and go, I'm going to copy what Martinez does, because it would come across as fake. And there's nothing wrong with it if you can't do it, because not many people do it. It's just this thing. It's just a natural thing. We've seen it with players in the past. They just have that desire and aggression and passion in them. And it's amazing to see. And look, part of me even felt sorry for Jorginho for a bit, because it was 2-on-1. But then I thought, you know what? I don't feel sorry for Jorginho. We've all played football. Martinez off the pitch is apparently a really nice guy. But it's a lesson in competitive sport. When you cross the line and the whistle goes, it's a competition. You don't have to shake hands with people, break friends, never make friends, and all that crap. It's a competition, and you can see it in Martinez that it doesn't matter whether he's playing a teammate that he knows from a previous club or his national team. It's on, and it's great to have that sort of character in Manchester United. And I think Anthony's got it. I think Casemiro's got it. I think there's a few players that have got it now, and it's great to see, because we haven't had that. We didn't have that last season. We had people like McTominay who'd be a bit passionate and start, pushing people, but it's not the same. McTominay's passion is not the same as Martinez. It's a very different thing, and we don't need everybody to do it anyway. You only need 1 or 2 in the team who do it, and everyone else can respond to it. Maybe there is a potential swap deal with Ajax to be explored. Donny for Edson Alvarez. I wouldn't go back there, Charlie, to be honest. I really don't want another player from Ajax. I don't. There's nobody at Ajax I want at the moment. I think we leave them. I take Van der Sar, maybe Timber, but that's it. Do you think Martial will be sold in the summer, says Hassan? I mean, who would buy Martial in the summer? That would be the question. And as good as Timber may be, I'm so happy we got Martinez, says Lee. Yeah, 100%. I think we've said it before. Football can be quite lucky. I said this the other day, didn't I? I think Ten Hag got very lucky with Casemiro. We wanted De Jong. He wanted De Jong. We spent all summer after De Jong. He really, really wanted him. He didn't get him. He got Casemiro. I actually think Casemiro suits Man United in the Premier League more than De Jong ever would. And I'm not saying De Jong's not a bad player. And I wouldn't mind De Jong now playing with Casemiro. But if we'd got De Jong and not Casemiro, we would not be the same team. Casemiro fits the Premier League like a glove. Casemiro's a better buy than De Jong in relation to what we needed. And that's lucky, really, because we wanted De Jong. The same things happened with Martinez. Exactly the same thing. I think De Jong is to the midfield what Timber would have been to centre-back. And actually, Martinez and Casemiro suit the Premier League and what United need more. Ten Hag wouldn't know that. He's not managed in the Premier League before, and he doesn't know what Manchester United are missing because he doesn't watch us every day for the last bloody 10 years. But we need those characters. Timber's a young player who will be a very, very good player. But Martinez, in his mid-20s, he's got that leadership and fire that team needs. It's not just about ability, it's about character. And it's the same with Casemiro. So look, Ten Hag wanted De Jong and Timber. as first choice. He ended up with Casemiro and Martinez. Sometimes your second choices can end up being better for the club than the first. So I think on both of those, we've done better deals. I can't see for the life of me how De Jong and Timber would do a better job than Martinez and Casemiro. I mean, we're all geniuses with hindsight, but sometimes you need that bit of luck as well. And it's not luck in the sense that, you know, when we couldn't get Timber, Ten Hag said get Martinez. So it's not luck in the sense that he's got really lucky. But what I'm saying is if we'd got Timber, we probably wouldn't have got Martinez. And Martinez would probably be at Arsenal. Can you imagine Arsenal with Martinez and Saliba? Bloody hell. I'd take Bobby from Ajax any day. Ten Hag would as well, says Dan. Okay, let's talk about, we're talking Ten Hag there. Let's just talk quickly about what Pep Guardiola has said here, because a few people have been talking about this morning. Pretty much unprompted by Pep Guardiola. He said, I've got a feeling that Man United is coming. Finally, United is coming. I saw yesterday against Sheriff and Chelsea the first half. I thought I like what I see from Manchester United now. So he's basically saying that Manchester United are on their way back. Do you believe that? Do you want that sort of comments? Is it relevant? Do you respect it? I think that, I think it's irrelevant. I think Pep Guardiola is the best manager in the Premier League. He's the title holder. I think he'll win the title again at the moment. Maybe they will finally win the Champions League this year. When Pep Guardiola talks about football and other clubs, you do listen. It's a bit like Sir Alex Ferguson. But I don't trust Pep, says Just Kevin. And exactly, I don't really care about Pep Guardiola, manager of Manchester City, talking about Manchester United in a way where, oh, I like what Man United are doing. Oh, I think they might be on their way back. Oh, I like what they're doing. And I'm like, look, it could be completely sincere. It could be trying to make us feel like we are where we are. I'll tell you what my opinion on this is. I think Pep Guardiola is a nice guy. I think he appreciates football. And I think Ten Hag is a guy that he worked with at Bayern Munich. And I think that Pep Guardiola doesn't have rivalries like Wenger and Sir Alex did. I think Pep Guardiola just sort of wants to go toe-to-toe with people at football. He doesn't want to go toe-to-toe with people in a, you know, an argumentative way. And I think that's the weakness of other managers like Klopp and that. I think you've got to try and goad Pep, because when you goad at him about money, he reacts. I think Pep gets an easy ride because he likes to go down the respectful route, everybody's friends and stuff. And I don't think in competitive sports, a bit like Martinez, I've just said it. I think even as a manager, you've got to be goading and getting at your competitors. Sir Alex Ferguson did it to Benitez, he did it to Wenger, he did it to Keegan. You've got to get under their skin. And I think Pep doesn't do that. I think Pep likes the whole, let's keep it friendly, and then my team will beat you on the pitch. If I was managing a team against Manchester City and my team was, you know, capable of toppling them, I wouldn't be friends. I'd tell my players not to be friends either. I'd say, look, we're not falling into this trap of Pep saying nice things about us. And, you know, because ultimately we'll go on there with our guard down, we'll try and play them at football and they'll beat us. I will start it in the press conference and you take it onto the pitch. I want to get under their skin. I want to take every advantage we can get. Sir Alex used to do this against Wenger. Wenger was the original Pep, the style of football that Arsenal played. We would always put someone like Phil Neville in the midfield just to clatter them. And we beat them. And that's how we would do it. Because sometimes Arsenal were a better footballing side than us, but we would get under their skin. So when Pep comes out and says United are on their way back, etc., I just think at the end of the day, you're a rival, mate. I don't trust the rival. And I think he probably is being sincere, but I don't think we need... I'd almost be like... And I don't think Ten Hag will do this, because obviously he's got a lot of respect for Pep, and I think Pep's one of his role models. But I personally think we're Manchester United. I couldn't give a toss what Pep Guardiola says. And ultimately, if we do get back near you, we're not shaking hands and being friends. We're getting under your skin. We're calling you out for what you are. You know, you're a checkbook manager with oil coming out your veins. And, you know, you've cheated your way to the top. Now, I don't believe any of that. I don't believe any of that. But I've got to get under their skin. We're miles away from them. He knows we're miles away from them. He can sit there and say, oh, United are doing quite well, because he knows we're bloody miles away. And to be honest with you, Pep Guardiola knows we're not catching them, because what has Pep Guardiola got that we haven't? He's got infrastructure, he has got that checkbook, and he's got owners that will keep spending. He's just won the title, and they bought him Erling Haaland. Like, he knows Ten Hag is not going to get the backing that he gets every single year. So we're not going to catch up. So I think there's sincerity in what Pep's saying, because we are improving, and I think he can appreciate that. But I think he's praising us because he knows we're never bloody going to get near him. And it's very easy to praise. So it's like, It's like, it's like if you're married and you're married to your dream partner, and then you're at a barbecue and your mate comes in who's been on hard times, he's never had a partner in his life, never had a girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever, and they walk in with somebody and they're actually pretty, a good match. And you go, oh, you know what? I'm so happy for you because you've been on your own for so long, and you've got somebody, and you know what? They're not bad. They're not bad. Come on, come over to the popular people and have a chat. That's what I feel like with Pep there. I think we've been so bad for so long. I think he sees us and goes, oh, they are improving, but they're not really a threat. Come on, come and have a chat with us. See what it's like with the cool people. I don't think he sees us as a threat at all. So I think it is sincere. I think he does see an improvement in us, but I don't think he sees us as a threat. Hi, Mark. Just leaving to go and watch my beloved Leicester play Man City. Wishes luck, says Alexander. I'm actually doing a watch-along for Leicester against Man City at 12:30 today on That's Football. So tune in for that. I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully Leicester can do everybody a favour. I'm not so sure, but we will see. We will see what happens with that. Hi Mark, love the positivity around Man United these days. After all we've suffered. Nice sweater as well, says Ahmed. Yeah, we do ship these worldwide. New knitted Christmas jumpers. They're out for order now. Links in the chat. Get involved. So Pep making his excuses early, ready for when we beat him at Old Trafford, so he can say I told you so, says Graham. Ten Hag was managing buying reserves. He wasn't Guardiola's assistant, says Ihab. I never said he was. I've heard a few people say that. Yeah, Ten Hag managed the reserves. He wasn't his assistant. I mean, look, people are getting their knickers in a twist. If you're the reserve team manager at Bayern Munich, obviously your relationship isn't as close as being the assistant manager because you're managing the reserves and the assistant manager is going around with the first team. But there's still a lot of interaction. And there is no doubting that Ten Hag is hugely influenced by Pep Guardiola. He's a role model of Ten Hag's. Morning, Mark. Loved Pub Bridge last night. Keep it up, says Tay. Yeah, it was a cracking show last night. Really, really enjoyed it. And Gina says, all true. Checkbook manager at every club. And plus inherits the league leaders all the time. Come on, Erik Ten Hag is the best coach in the world. Think last season, longer even. No, I'm not going to disrespect Pep Guardiola. I think he's a fantastic manager. He's a little bit like Messi. I wish Messi had come to the Premier League, and I wish Pep Guardiola would manage a club with a bit more of a challenge. Barcelona, he did a great job, but there was a lot of good players there. Bayern Munich win the league every year, even if you put me in charge. Man City, his career has been pretty straightforward compared to a Sir Alex Ferguson or a Jose Mourinho, who started their careers at teams like Aberdeen and Porto. So, look, Pep's had it on a plate, but you can't take away the fact that, and I know players that have played for him, you don't need to know that, he is ridiculously hardworking and methodical and obsessive, and he's a very good coach. And I think the funny thing is, it is like Messi. If Messi had come to the Premier League and played for Arsenal 5 years ago, he'd still be one of the best players in the world at Arsenal. Like, he's an amazing player. And I think if Pep Guardiola had come and taken Arsenal over straight after Wenger when they were on hard times, I think he would take Arsenal up. But, he does what he wants to do. He's got the right to do that, hasn't he? In order to sell something, you have to lower yourself, says Hypocrisy. Guardiola has got brains, but he has it easy, says Shiam. And Porto have always been a good side and still are, says Fitz. Yeah, come on. I mean, are we really going to have that sort of chat on us? Are you comparing Porto to Barcelona, Bayern Munich and Man City? He won the bloody Champions League with Porto. How many times have Porto won the Champions League since? Some people don't switch their brain on in the morning, do they? Apparently Mourinho's had it as easy as Pep because Porto are a big club. Come on. And Sir Alex Ferguson, didn't Sir Alex Ferguson win a European Cup Winners' Cup or something with Aberdeen as well? He won the league, breaking the Celtic and Rangers access. How many times have Aberdeen done that since? United the most improved team, says Ian. It's only a matter of time before they start challenging again. End of the day, United are a juggernaut, the biggest club in Britain. All those things should be very true, Ian. But any Man United fan will tell you we're owned by the Glazers. That's the problem. I'll tell you a story, Ian. We will not back Ten Hag next summer like we did this summer. And to me, that's absolutely pointless. That's like saying I'm going to build a massive house and buying a plot of land and building the foundations and then the next summer not buying the bricks or the windows or anything else. And I guarantee you United will not back Ten Hag next summer. So all these rival fans saying, can't believe man's saying you didn't back Ten Hag when you just spent £200 million. Well, we know how this works at Man United. First summer, oh, there's a load of money. We're backing the manager. Season 2, 3, you don't get the same money spent. Cycle continues. So let's see if Ten Hag gets the backing, because we should be a juggernaut. But look at the stadium. Look at the stadium. People don't want to talk about this. I don't know why this isn't being discussed. I mean, it's actually a public statement from Manchester United that they're not doing anything about the stadium for 2 years, because it's going to take 2 years to look at the different options. We might not start doing anything with Old Trafford for 4 years. 2 years consultancy, and then probably another 2 years planning it. Like, it's a joke. It's an absolute joke. And people are just swallowing it because, oh, we played well against Spurs. Ten Hag's fantastic, but the structure above him is going to cave in on him. I'm telling you now, we have not got the right owners to be successful. The stadium is a reflection of that as well. The reality is, the reason it's going to be a 2-year plan for the... It's like these people who don't want to get married, right? I've got friends who don't want to get married, right? And they've been in relationships for years. And when you meet up for a night out on a Saturday night, you'll be loads of little chats, and their partner will be going, hopefully this time next year we'll be getting engaged. And then the next time you're out with the mate and they're not there, so you're going to get engaged. No, I'm just talking about it, formulating plans. I mean, we talk about what sort of wedding we want, but I don't want that for a few years. Whereas the partner thinks that it's going to happen very, very quickly. It's the same thing with United and this stadium. Yeah, if we talk about it and plan it for a couple of years, that'll keep the fans thinking it's going to happen. I don't think the stadium's going to happen at all. I think the Glazers are waiting for the Super League, which is coming in 2025. And when the Super League comes in, it's money, 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 and that's what they're waiting for. And maybe they'll sell then for even more value, or maybe they'll use some of that money to build the stadium. But I don't think they've got any intention of building the stadium. I think they're waiting on the Super League. Will we never be on the level of Man City, says Barry, with the owners we have and staff employed? It's a long road back. We're only on Spurs and Chelsea's level. Thank you, Barry. And why does it feel everyone forgot about the Glazers out now that we win and do okay? We must still get them out. The transfer windows will be hurtful again, says Quinton. And I think we got lucky due to the board's incompetence. Not sacking Ollie on time got us Ranić and Eric Ten Hag and not Conte. Martinez for Timber, Casemiro for Frankie de Jong. Maybe not letting Ronaldo go will act in our favour as well, says Rimbic. I think on the Glazer out movement, it's not going anywhere. But the interesting projection for me is that if we get top 4 next summer, I think fans will think we've won the league. And that's what worries me. What damage has the last 10 years under the Glazers done to the expectations of the fans? Because I actually think if we get top 4, we've been suppressed so far for so long. I think people will go, that's great, let's build on it. Then we won't spend, and we'll just spend every year fighting for top 4 like Arsenal did. And it's almost like the fan base will be like, well, maybe one day we might challenge for the league. If we start getting consistent top 4, I wonder whether that will just be accepted by the majority of the fan base. And ultimately it shouldn't, but have we been consistently top 4 for 10 years? No, we haven't. And do I think Ten Hag can get us consistently top 4? Yes, I do. Do I think he can win us the league without major investment? No. Do I think the Glazers would be happy with 4th every year? Yes. So that's going to be the long-term issue, is the Glazers could survive off top 4 with Ten Hag for many years. We'll have to see. We need new owners. Glazers very smartly changed the momentum on Glazers out to Ronaldo out, says Nandan. Yeah, we do. What was I going to say? Something I was going to say. Just this Anthony thing. I think we need to move on from this as well. I mean, I can't believe the amount of people who've spoken about this. And look, I saw a clip of Nani doing head tennis against a team, and then within 2 seconds of him doing it, there's an opposition player that slides out of Old Trafford trying to, basically snap him in two. I think people just need to move on from this. I think one of the things that people have missed here is that Richarlison did this to us last season, I think it was, at Goodison. He was doing head tennis on the side and United let him do it. And I said, he's taking the piss. Why has somebody not just clattered him? And that's the thing here. People having a pop at Anthony and saying, well, he shouldn't do it. He shouldn't be doing it at 0-0. He shouldn't do it at all. He should keep it for when it's 4-0. At the end of the day, everybody's missed the point here. If I was playing for the opposition and Anthony did that, I'd clatter him. And I think Roy Keane would. And I think most of you would. And nobody said that. Everyone's talking about whether it's right or wrong. It's shithousery. That's what it is. And if he gets clattered, then he's only got himself to blame. And I think, I'm not saying he shouldn't do it. I think so many people loved it, but nobody's spoken about that. And I think that when people get pissed off and wound up by it, well, you're missing the point. We could kick off against West Ham tomorrow and Ronaldo could start doing head tennis and, loop the loops and all sorts of stuff. The problem is Declan Rice would probably come and snap him in too. So, look, you do what I've always thought this. There are certain skill moves that you think, why doesn't somebody flick the ball up onto the back of their head and just run all the way to the goal? You know these people who can balance it on the top of their neck like that. Why don't they flick it up from the kickoff and run along with 4 players around them like this, and then just go boom into the goal? I guarantee you, most of our team could get that ball on the back of their neck within a couple of seconds. We could do the kickoff, knock it to Bruno. He's got a few seconds of space, flicks it up onto his neck, and then just runs along like that. Why doesn't he do it? Because he'd be in very big danger of a severe injury as somebody comes clattering into him to knock the ball off him. So any skill move, actually, when you digest it and think about it, because I've heard so many people talking about this, and nobody said this, and if I've missed it, fine. Actually, when all's said and done, who gives a toss about Anthony doing his little ring-a-ring-a-roses spin around or anything like that? Who gives a toss about Richarlison doing keep-ups on his head? Or Nani? Or anybody else? Or Ronaldo step-overs that he used to do? Who gives a toss about it? Let them do it. But if they get clattered and injured, and I'm the manager, I'm going to say, well, you were taking the piss. You were taking the piss. You're going to wind players up. And if they come through you and get the ball and hurt you, you've only got yourself to blame. And I've not heard anybody say that. And that's probably my middle ground, really, is that I haven't got a problem with what Anthony did. And I think some of the reaction to it was really bitter and horrible. But actually, if he does it again and somebody, crunches into him and he gets hurt, as his manager, I would say, maybe don't do that again, because you're inviting it. But at the end of the day, it's really not that deep, is it? It really isn't. Neymar posted about Anthony. I just think it's silly. I think it's absolutely silly. I think it's been blown up out of proportion, and I think he'll do it tomorrow I think he will do it tomorrow. I guarantee. Let's take a bet then. I think against West Ham tomorrow he's going to do it. I do, and I'm expecting it. And again, I will think it's shithousery, and I will laugh about it. So I think he will do it tomorrow. But we'll have to wait and see. We've got, what's your favourite flavour of milk, says Bob. Oh, I tell you what, I'd love a lovely fresh chocolate milk at the moment. But I'd love a chocolate milk, that'd be nice. A proper nice one though. Anyway, look, thanks everyone for watching. Make sure you smash a like on the video and subscribe. If you want to get your jumpers, links in the description, or just go to United Stand Shopify and you'll find it there. We do ship worldwide. Knitted Christmas jumpers. There's not many of them left. When they're gone, they're gone. Chart shows coming up for you later on today, and I'm on That's Football for the Leicester Man City game at 12:30. So if you want to tune in and have a bit of football chat and debate, we'll do some polls as well. Tune in for that. As I said, Christmas jumpers are available. Get your orders in, and I'll speak to you all in a bit. Thanks for watching. Don't miss the chart show later. It's the hardest chart show I've done. It was really difficult. I had to rewrite it 4 or 5 times. So don't miss the chart show. It's a good one. Spoke about De Gea not being included in the 55-man squad last night. Watched last night. It was a great show. Thanks for watching. Take care.